Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Here we are again today. I have Bobby and Nathan from the band Motherfolk. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Great, Shane. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I'm going to start off with the first question. I guess, Nathan, you can answer it, or if Bobby has a better determination. We don't genre label here. We let the artists do it themselves. So where would you place yourself in the world of genres?
Dude, I have no idea. I actually put a thing on Instagram like the other day, just asking what bands we sounded like. And we got a lot of answers. We got a lot of Briston Maroney answers. So like whatever genre that is, I guess that's where we're sitting nowadays. But I just always use the all-encompassing indie rock when people ask us what our music is like. I think there's been a lot of change over the years. Like we started kind of folky, we got out of that and went more like electric and rock driven. We've always kind of used synths and stuff and weird effects in our sounds. So I don't know. I guess people are just going to have to listen and kind of decide for themselves.
Would you have a description, Bobby, or you would go directly off of Nathan's?
Just straight butt rock, I think.
That's perfect. I mean, that's perfect.
It's just like that, or a new age kind of butt rock kind of thing.
All right.
No,
yeah.
I think
we're taking butt rock back.
Yeah,
we're making it
somebody
cool
has
again.
to. Yeah, somebody's got to take it back. Yeah, I mean, I place some emphasis on when somebody asked me about you guys, and I was like, I go, if I were to place them, and I'll be an asshole for doing it, but I will do it anyway. I was like, I'd call it indie alt folk. And they're like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, exactly. Just listen to the fucking music.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. What about you strikes, or what about us strikes you as folk? I'm always curious with that, because I have a theory that people wouldn't put that tag on us if it wasn't for our stupid name.
I would say some of the harmonies definitely do that.
Okay.
And that's where I think there's a lot more indie, and I mean, even to use a term that maybe passe, but I'm an old fucker. Grunge comes to mind on some of your stuff, but the harmonies bring it together. And to me, the way you guys, there is synth, but there is the acoustic guitar, and it has, I guess for me, it is mainly the harmonies in the vocals that bring that out to me.
I gotcha. I can see that.
Yeah, that's one thing that we probably have kept as a part of our style throughout the years, even though we started out more acoustic folk driven. And obviously the harmonies came really naturally there. But I think, that's probably one thing that we definitely have taken on, even as we've, like Nate said, has gotten more electric and gotten more interested in cool sounds and synths and whatnot. We still have the harmonies. Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, don't get me wrong, guys. My life started with harmonies with the Beach Boys, and it only grew from there to my other bands that I love. It's all harmonies, and for me, it's like that soothing sound that you can just constantly have playing in the background of your life. It's something that's not going to punch you in the face and be like, oh my God, turn this fucking off. I'm not ready for it. But what you guys are doing is something that can just be listened to no matter what mood you're in. So
thank you. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I always just thought our music was for depressed people, but that's good that it's versatile. You
But
could,
it's also for indifferent people.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the depressed thing, I mean, I guess you can see sometimes in life where, I mean, I love harmonies and I love to cry to stuff, but I mean, am I depressed? I don't know, but probably. I mean, probably. I mean, aren't we all nowadays? Really? Most of
Probably.
us? Yeah. So let me get a little background about the band. I mean, I don't know, Nathan, if you want to give us a little background about how this all came together. I know how it came together, but our listeners don't.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we've done so many podcasts and have just like told this story over and over again. I
Then
kind of
don't
just
tell
want
it, and we'll
to,
move on to
no.
something else.
I just want to lie. I just want to make something up that's more interesting.
You should make something up that's cool. Like there should be definitely like some arrests being made. You met each other after,
Yeah. Well, Bobby was
you're
a
both
cop
in
that
the
arrested me, and that's like
you were
how we
both in the
got our
sober
start.
tank and said, "Hey,
Yeah, he
man,
started singing, and I started laying down that harmony, and we were like, "Oh my god, this could work." No, just
Those jail
the
cell
quick overview
harmonies.
though for anyone who hasn't heard it. Me and Bobby went to high school together. Ended up going to the same college, and that's kind of where we started writing music together. Eventually, got the opportunity to go to a studio in Nashville and recorded our first album, and have been doing it ever since.
quick and to the point. I like it."
Yeah.
So when you started on this journey, I mean, it's different for everyone. And I'll start with Bobby. There's usually a point in your life, and there's two contributing factors when it comes to, I think, music in life. It's the first musical memory you have is when you heard music, and even as a small child, when it was no longer cartoon theme songs. And then there's another point where you find the music that you attach yourself to, like later on in your teen years, and you find like your road to run with music. Do you remember those points in your life, Bobby?
Well, let's not discredit cartoon theme songs. Let's not take those off the table. SpongeBob was very formative for me.
Good point.
Um, no, I have tons of moments like that, I think, and it always like shifts a ton. But for me personally, I grew up and my dad was always fixing things or working with wood in the basement. He had this like wood shop kind of thing, and he always played like Billy Joel, Elton John, some of the Beach Boys. More that was probably more my mom. But then also just like really terrible like bands like Bad Company, like I don't know that there were those like bands in there that and not all bad, like Bob Seger and Bruce Springsteen.
You
But like,
literally are just describing my life as a child too. Workshop.
yeah,
My dad had a wood shop in the basement. He had speakers throughout the entire house, and he would play Bob Seger records, like in Gordon Lightfoot.
I did my homework, so I'm just trying to mirror you. No, but I have a very fond memory, and I still love those bands. And then I think like I went through this Christian phase. Some people do it; they call it Christianity, and
that's a thing.
Yeah,
first time I'm hearing of it.
It's been going on it's about 2,000 years old.
You got to look into it, man. I'm actually just getting back into it.
It's actually pretty nice. They pretty much have a plan for your future. No, I think like so during my teen years, I basically had that kind of take over. But luckily, when I got to college, this one guy, I think it was my RA, he just kind of like stopped me when he saw my iTunes account, and he was like, "This is not acceptable." And he gave me about 30 bands that honestly, some of them I still listen to today. And it just shaped my life. It was much more like it curved into the indie scene that I just hadn't been exposed to yet. and it's like going from John Mayer to, I don't know, like, some very indie, or like, I don't know, David Bazan,
Yeah.
who is
Pedro the Lion.
Yeah, Pedro the Lion. Like, oh, this Christian music or whatever, it can be indie and it can be good and it can be sad, and
There's a whole
yeah,
record label based on Christian indie rock, Tooth and Nail. I mean, so
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'd only listened to the bad bands off of Tooth and Nail to that point. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, Tooth and Nail, if you want to sign us, that's fine. Go.
Hey, they almost did once.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but I guess that would be my answer. Like, there are these, I think I like how you put it too. There's these kind of defining moments that your tastes change, but also you're just kind of growing and developing. And when I went to college, and I had that friend just kind of pull me aside and give me music, that it was a true gift, because I don't think I really listened to music and found my place in it until he did. Because up till then it was always very Christian or Bad Company. So, and I didn't see myself in either of those. But
awesome. So Nathan, what was your journey like from your first musical memory to finding your place in music?
Yeah, it was kind of similar. It started with my dad. Just kind of anytime we were driving in the car, he was always playing Elton John and Hall & Oates. My dad has a great music taste from that era, but he also likes a lot of really bad bands from that era too. So it was also a lot of like Kiss and the Eagles. And
I don't get the Eagles. The number one selling American band of all time. I don't fucking get it.
No, it's bad.
Dude, and I'll tell you,
I mean,
like,
Motel California is the worst song.
I like that you're calling
time.
it Motel California. Like,
well, I always do that. I always do that because I like
it's a low blow.
It is.
Yeah, it's a backhanded compliment.
That was not a hotel.
And I was honestly
not 5 stars.
I was kind of okay with the Eagles until like when I was 19 or 20, me and my dad went to see them live, and it was the most boring concert I've ever been to in my life. They all sat
they're
on
all
stools.
Almost dead.
They're so old. And they took an intermission. They played for like 2 hours, and I was like, oh, it's done. And the dude was like, all right, you guys can go get some drinks. We're going to be back here in about 30 minutes. And then they played 2 more hours.
I mean, was there anything around that lobby of the Red Roof Inn that you saw them at, or?
Oh man. But yeah, so my journey musically started kind of there, with all those 60s, 70s era artists. I think I really found myself or my own thing in 7th or 8th grade, honestly, when I discovered Warped Tour. Because I'd started getting into some punk bands like Alkaline Trio and Fall Out Boy and things like that. And surfing the web one night, found the Warped Tour website, and they had every single band that I loved all on one lineup. And from there, I would just that was my thing. And I kind of knew pretty much from that age that being in a band was what I wanted to do.
I mean, and Warped Tour was a huge gateway drug for a lot of people when it came to music. And
for sure,
I mean, there's a lot of things, nowadays, and especially in today's world where all the fests going on. But I mean, it went from, Lollapalooza to Warped Tour to Ozfest. Like, those were the 3 big gateways for people to find music and see a lot of it all at once, and having 3 places to see them, 3 different stages. So you get your smaller indie bands that you can, kind of find and make them your own and tell people about them, next time you went to school. And then it was also your bigger guys, like you mentioned, Alkaline Trio, just fucking, Skiba and fucking Dan are just fucking amazing. Like they just created a sound that wasn't out there. Really created their own sound. I think Alkaline Trio is one of those bands that stands like by themselves. It's hard to put them with somebody.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So you said that you, like, when you found that, you knew you wanted music to be a part of your life. So how did you make that a part? Like, did you already have the quintessential piano lessons that everybody's mother made them take when they were younger, or how did your journey into playing music start?
Yeah, no, I never had any formal training. I had a bass guitar for some reason that I got when I was really young, and I had
Didn't we
never
all?
touched it. Yeah, I think those just come with houses.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's buy the biggest thing for the smallest kid.
but so around that time when I was getting really into music, I would pick that up and I would start trying to learn songs just kind of by ear. Eventually discovered guitar tabs, and um, did that. I put the bass down pretty quickly though. Like maybe after a year, one of my good friends, he had an electric guitar and he didn't play it, so he just let me borrow it indefinitely. And I just learned electric guitar through guitar tabs or learning stuff by ear, just covering songs, which is probably how everybody did it. Yeah, and then after that, just starting bands with my friends that were really shitty all the way up until college when I started one that was halfway okay.
What was the name of your first shitty band you started with your friends? The
Oh
first
God,
band
let
name
me
you ever
think.
had?
First band name was Glycerin Falls.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He
and
has a whole band history that we don't have time to get into, by the way.
well, we do, Shane, if you want to.
Hey, yeah, no, listen, we can record forever. We're fine
Listen,
here.
I'll run you through the first three band names, and that's only because they all happened within a single day. So, like by second period, we had changed our name from Glycerin Falls to Boy Scout Death Camp, and I think by the end of the day, we had settled on the name No Outlet.
Yeah, it
So,
was No Outlet for a while. That was like,
yeah,
you guys stuck with that one for a little bit.
for a good couple years.
What was your journey like, Bobby? Did you start playing piano like most of us, or did you also live in a house that just simply had a bass guitar sitting there?
No, I did not. My journey was kind of like, I think I actually remember this the other day. I started playing guitar and taking kind of formal lessons when I was really young, and I liked it okay enough, but I think I was too young to kind of grab onto it. And the teacher was like, "Do you want to learn a song?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I chose "Smooth" by Santana, um, and
Okay.
I couldn't make it through because that song was really big at that point, and I couldn't make it through like the first riff. And I'm not really a go-getter. I'm more of a give up, at least at that age for sure. And I just gave up, and then I picked it back up because of church actually. I was heavily involved at church, and I would always sing because I just knew I don't know, just always was a good singer. And the music pastor one night came up to me and said, I have to teach you guitar. And I said, why? And he said, because you look really awkward up there standing without anything in your hands. And I guess I was doing like, I don't know, I guess I was just imitating a rock star, just like, hand on the microphone on the stand and just going for it. But he thought that looked strange. So yeah, that's why I started learning guitar. But I'm actually really, really grateful for it now, just because I mean, the way that he said it wasn't encouraging to a teen, but yeah,
You
it
look
got me
really
off.
awkward. Yeah, that's a great thing to say to a teenager. Listen, man, you just look
Yeah.
awkward.
Oh yeah, I'm on stage. I have I have just total confidence because no one's ever told me not to. um, but he became a teacher and taught me kind of what I knew or what I could know or what he could. And yeah, and then I was a worship leader for a long time, and that's the funny thing, is my story is totally different from Nate's. I didn't like jump from band to band and like start things with my friends. I just like, it was all inside the church. But I don't know that. Yeah.
So, I mean, you I guess you had these rock star vibes with holding onto a microphone and everything. So what was it like performing? Did it come naturally to perform in front of people like that, or was it something that took you a while to just open up and be like, okay,
I think
especially after being told that you look awkward?
Yeah, no, I mean, back then, I don't think that daunted me too much. I think when it's kind of weird how you get older and you develop. I actually think that I probably am more self-conscious, or at least self-aware of myself on stage now, than I was when I was a kid, because I don't know, it is just fun. And I don't know if that was the church environment and it being very welcoming or whatever. I'm a white man, or I was a white kid, so I was just like, and I
The
was a
devil.
Christian. Like no, I was like the best. I was the best thing possible for them. And you say you're interested in being on a stage, and I've always loved that, like being kind of the center of attention. I think that's what it was. Like people notice you and people see you. I think that I still maybe get something out of that.
Now, for you, Nathan, what was it like? I mean, going through all these iterations and all these different bands. When did you first perform in front of strangers?
Pretty early on. I think, I had like a lot of bands through like middle school and early high school, that just kind of played school events, like the dance or whatever happening in town. But by like my last couple years of high school, me and a couple other friends were pretty serious about trying to tour and do that whole thing. So, um, yeah, we would play just like clubs in Cincinnati. We lived about an hour south of Cincinnati, so we would come up this way and play at spots. We at that point I was in a Christian hardcore band, so we would play churches sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played the Ichthus Music Festival once. Um, so yeah, I kind of got a taste for like what actual shows were like a little earlier than maybe some people do. Um, I was never in a band though that had more than 10 actual fans until Motherfolk.
So, I mean, performing like that, what was the first performance you ever saw? Like, what was your first concert you ever went to?
Senses Fail and Seosin at Bogart's in Cincinnati. And I was 13.
Wow. That's a good opening show.
Dude, I've got the best first concert of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, crushes mine. What about you, Bobby? What was the first concert you ever went to?
Oh man, when this comes out, people are gonna think we're like super Christian, and
Well,
maybe
we were, and that's
well,
okay.
yeah, we were. That's okay. No, I went to I remember like the girl I was interested in went to this festival called Life Fest in
Oh yeah,
Wisconsin. Yeah, and it was like a 3 or 4 day Christian festival. Like, it was actually super fun because
dude.
we
Yeah,
camped out.
Christianity aside, those festivals were dope.
Yeah,
I'll
and
say
it was the
Cornerstone,
heyday.
Life Fest, Ichthus. Fuck yeah.
That's the thing, is you don't have to like, yeah, the Christianity part of it wasn't even like there. It was just an excuse to go camping with my friends, have
Yeah.
very little parental um well, anything. Like, I think we had our parent, like some parents there, but like, you, as soon as you get up, they might have like fed us breakfast or something, but then we were just like lost for the whole day on these campgrounds. But yeah, I definitely got introduced to it. But the fun thing is, I remember one of the first shows we went to was I think it was Disciple. And Disciple was this. I don't know if you're familiar, Shane, with the
Hey,
band
sorry to
Disciple.
interject here, Bobby. Wasn't it like,
Yeah,
I thought it was Children 18-3 or some shit like that.
Project 86.
That one. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay. Well, they were like back to
Doesn't
back.
matter.
It was like, and this alternative Christian, like hardcore kind of thing, almost scary, like very scary. I remember I got lost in a mosh pit, and you would expect the mosh pit to be like better because it's Christian, but it wasn't. I almost got pulled under, but this older guy that came with us, well, not older, he's just a teenager, but he picked me up out of it. But I remember very clearly the lead singer screaming into the microphone, like, "Death to Satan, we're gonna slit Satan's throat." And even being like a Christian at the time, I knew that was too far. Like I was like, we can't say that, can we? But anyways, yeah.
Wow.
A very bizarre first
That's
concert
so
for
good,
me.
though. That's so good.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna start saying that on stage here.
Please.
Next tour.
That's awesome. I'll look forward to when you're playing the Mercury Lounge when I go.
Hey guys, thanks for Motherfolk. Thanks for coming out tonight. This is our last song. Slit Satan's throat.
And open up that pit.
Well, I think that's what a lot of people never really understood, and you're not alone when it comes to the whole Christianity and music thing and growing up in it. And there were so many bands that people just didn't know had that, Christianity background. And I mean, there's hardcore bands now still that have huge followings, like Emery, huge following, and they're hardcore, headlining hardcore festivals, that aren't Christian based hardcore festivals. They're just festivals. But once you put that term to something, oh, they're a Christian hardcore band, people just fucking check out instead of just being like, it's just fucking music and the guys happen to be fucking Christian. Like, can we figure out something else and move on here and just enjoy the music? But
that's true. One of my favorite bands to this day is The Chariot, and they were definitely in that scene, but that's like I don't see them as a Christian band.
Yeah, and again, like how I brought up earlier, there were, Tooth and Nail Records. I mean, that was, but the bands that came off of there were, emo and punk rock bands.
Yeah, they had Me Without You too, which is, an incredible band. But and also, I don't know, I would say beyond, like, I don't know, it somehow surpasses Christianity, like Me Without You, at least, Yeah. Or at least that Christian label.
I definitely agree with that.
Now, when was the first performance for Motherfolk? What was your first performance in front of strangers, and how did it go?
Our first performance or our first performance in front of strangers? Because those are two different shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Your first performance in front of strangers.
Okay. Take it away, Bobby.
Is this the one at the 86 Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Actually, it was a really fun night. And on the topic of Tooth and Nail, and then we'll close that chapter forever. We actually had a phone call with them that night, and they were like telling us that they were going to sign us. They were pretty confident that they were going to sign us, and we were like, holy shit, we haven't even played our first official show yet, and we're going to get signed. Now, nothing ever came of that. I don't know if they just forgot or just someone got fired or something. I don't know. But
if anyone from Tooth and Nail is listening to this, we're still waiting.
Yeah, we're ready. We have been ready. No, the first show was really great. I think it was a confirmation for me in my mind that we were doing something, because up until this point, unlike Nathan, I had never been in like a band, and I wasn't even sure. I mean, I guess at that point I was pretty sure that's what I wanted to do, but there was just a change in the room that made me feel like not that I was special, but what we were doing was special. And that was the first time that something like that had ever happened. I think it was just kind of the energy that we brought to it. But
For sure. We
yeah,
were also the only band on the bill that like didn't really suck too. Because when you're
yeah,
playing local shows like that, most of the bands suck, and that's just how it is. Not everyone gets good. I think we were just a little bit better.
and we weren't great probably at that point because I mean we just
Yeah,
hadn't played together very long. But I don't know. I don't know if it was something about our energy or something about the way that we presented ourselves. I think one thing that always has, if I can toot our own horn, set us apart is that our songwriting has always been fairly solid. And so the way that that translates live, or we also have a really good way of translating that live. And I think we acted like we had more confidence than we probably did. But yeah, I think whenever we look back on that moment, there's definitely some sort of shift in the room to where you could feel people being interested in us. And so that's why, I don't know, I think that's why Cincinnati is special to us still. I mean, I know it's our home base, but um, it's kind of also the first place that we were seen, and really recognized.
definitely. A fun fact about that show too, at that time we didn't live in Cincinnati. We were going to school like 2 hours away from Cincinnati, but that was just it was the closest city that had a music scene that we wanted to kind of target and make our first like fan base. So I had emailed the person that books that club, gave him our spiel, and I was like, we'd love to play here. And the dude emailed back and was like, yeah, sorry, like you guys aren't local, so I just can't take a chance because you'll probably bring nobody out to the show. And I was like, oh, I forgot to mention we go to school in Cincinnati, so like we have a ton of friends here. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah. So, just totally
So
lied to get on that first show, but sometimes lying pays off.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little white lie.
Yeah. And there's a
plus, I
lot of
think
other
we got
lies along
paid.
the way I'm still banking on too.
Yeah. How many people did show up?
I don't know. They were maybe like 50 or 60 people there, but between like all the bands,
Yeah.
everyone brought a few people. So
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah, it's still a good showing for like to introduce yourself basically to people in Cincinnati,
For sure.
So in performing and after that was over, did you have that sensation of so this is really going to be the thing? This is it.
I think
I
so.
think yeah, I think so. Like I said, it was a defining moment. I think it happened more for me in the studio.
Yeah.
There's something about the studio that always kind of helps me remember, especially if it's like going well. But I remember when, I mean, we took the first two songs to go record in Nashville, and it just took the producer that we had to kind of believe in us. And he told us like, hey, with a decent drummer, you could actually do this. And up until that point, I didn't really know what we were doing. I didn't know that we were going to, you know, full steam ahead, try to make this a project. I kind of didn't know if it would just be a writing project or we just had these cool songs, wanted to see what they were. But it took him to say that to make me and really just the magic of the studio and realizing, you can make something from almost nothing. Yeah, and that kind of helped me with that perspective at least, to try to
Yeah.
make this more of a life's pursuit.
I think too, what happened in the studio, because Bobby's right. We really didn't have many intentions for this when it first started. We just kind of on a whim wanted to see what these songs would sound like in a studio, because we'd been to studios with other bands that we were in. Like I had bands that I was in. Bobby had like his own worship band that had recorded some stuff. But when we went and did these songs and we got the rough mixes back, I think both of us were like, this is the best thing we've ever done. So we should probably put all our eggs in this basket now.
Yeah.
Just getting that sense of when you hear a sound and it's different than anything else you've heard before is when you know you need to grasp onto it.
For sure.
So after playing that first show and playing many shows now in your time, Nathan, is there a particular moment that stands out for you, like at a live show that you guys performed at, that you said, this is it. This is the best like we have done so far, and let's fucking bottle what just happened and try to keep recreating it. Do you have a moment that stands out at a show or more than one show that you performed?
Man, yeah, there's definitely a few. And they all kind of happen anytime the crowd just sort of takes over singing a song. Especially when that happens without you trying to get them to do that, is always just a moment
organically.
I always just try to take in those moments. There was we do a big Christmas show every year in Cincinnati, and in 2019 we did this part of the show where we come out and we played some of our older stuff, just acoustic. Bobby was playing the acoustic guitar. I was playing a banjo, which I haven't pulled out since that first album. Because we have so much music now, we don't always get to play a lot of the older ones that some of those older fans want to hear. So we took a bit of our set to do that. And it was just so cool because I think it was when we were playing I Know from our first album. And like Bobby might have been singing, but he didn't need to at all, just because every person in that room was singing every word. And that's definitely a moment I remember of. I think I even stopped playing and just stood there for a second, just tried to take that in, because I don't know, it's hard being like a medium successful band in the sense that you get discouraged a lot when you're not growing in the way you want to be. But moments like that are the few times you get to actually quantify, like, oh wow, this song has touched every single person in this room. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's those moments in time that are, captured. And some of the, I go to tons of shows, and the moment where the crowd takes over, sometimes it can be annoying. The last show before the world shut down, sing Dashboard Confessional, it was literally like I was at a fucking karaoke fucking show, because everybody sang every song at the top of their lungs, and I literally left towards the end because I was like, I didn't pay to watch the crowd sing every song the whole way through every time and not let Chris do his job on stage.
Oh man, don't you love being a part of that though?
No, not when I'm there. No, not when I'm there.
No, yeah.
Like for a song. Yeah, it's totally cool. For like a song, like it's awesome, but not for fucking 12 songs in a row.
See, like, I had the opposite experience. I went and saw Mayday Parade when they did the 10-year anniversary tour for A Lesson in Romantics, that first big album they had. And it was like a 2,000 cap room, and the entire time I could hardly hear the band because everyone was just singing every single word so loud. But I thought it was awesome just to like sit back and watch that.
I think too, like there's a huge difference between how I digest and you digest things, Nate. It's like, I think since we've been on the stage, we're also thinking, man, like how incredible it would be to be on the stage when you're hearing like all these voices.
They must feel amazing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for me, especially when you pay good money to see a band. Like, again, I love it when it happens in a song organically with the crowd, and like I get goosebumps. But then when it continues to the next and the next and the next and the next, I'm like, well, I'm not here to see all you guys. I'm here to see the people on stage. So let's give them an opportunity to play the songs that I love listening to without 1,200 room chorus going on.
I'm gonna start shushing people because I know people have come just like you, Shane, that want to hear a good show. So I'm just gonna start shushing them from the stage.
Yeah. Where'd you say you're going to see us? Mercury Lounge. I'm going to make sure the crowd is so quiet during that show.
Yeah, and say this prick in the corner doesn't fucking like everyone singing the entire time. So
you're like my dad in a car, and he's like, I don't know if your guys' dads were like this, but like my dad would be mad at us if we sang along to the radio in the car
because he wants to hear them sing it.
Yeah. Like literally the least joyful thing you could do is to like quiet people from singing along with the radio.
So with all your shows, Bobby, have you guys ever had someone open up for you, or you guys opened up for another band that you stood back and just were in awe of what you were seeing was happening on stage? Is there, a band or two, and it doesn't make anybody else that you've ever played with or opened for, or someone opened for you, any less of a band, but has there ever been a band that you just stood back and were in awe of when you watched them perform when you're on the same ticket?
That's a good question. We got, it's different every show and every band that we go out with. I've seen, we've been able to see so many talented people in varying ways. I think the biggest thing for me to like fight against is like, that's still a part of how beautiful all of it is together. Like, I think I get stage envy when I see a band and I think they're outperforming like what I just did or something. Yeah. But just to kind of set back and have that perspective, I don't know if I've ever had, I think, we got to open up for the Lumineers this past year, which was, or not too long ago, which was amazing. And also very awe-inspiring, like being in front of a crowd of 5,000 people that didn't really know who we were. And trying to like kind of win them over. But yeah, to see how much they sang and were engaged when the Lumineers were on the stage was pretty impressive.
Now, how about you, Nathan? Do you have, is that the same moment, or is there somebody else that you've just stood back and watched it on and be like, I can't believe we're playing with them, or the fact that they're playing with us and, what they're doing on stage right now is, Bobby said it's stage envy of like, fuck.
Yeah, like anytime I've stood back and been in actual awe is when we've opened for those bigger bands like the Lumineers, or when we play bigger festivals like Lollapalooza, and you don't necessarily open for a band, but you walk around and see other bands there, and just kind of like, wow, this is insane that I'm also here.
Yeah,
there was
at Lolla. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to change the subject a little bit.
Oh, I was just going to say at Lollapalooza, it was less in awe of the artist and more in awe of the reaction. But when Miley Cyrus took the stage and she performed, there were she wore sunglasses for like the first 3 songs or something, and then she took them off, and there were grown men around me just crying and saying, her eyes, her eyes. And I was like I just like the fact that I heard a grown man's or a grown person, adult, say that, like I was amazed that the amount of I don't know, just idolatry worship that goes into that is crazy.
Yeah, it's super
Um,
unchristian.
it's super unchristian. And there we go. We made it back full circle.
No, I was gonna say a couple years ago, as far as the openers go, there was one time where um, this dude opened a show that we had in Cleveland, and like usually, I don't know, at the level we're at, not usually, but a lot of times you're not surprised um, when the opener sucks. But I remember watching this guy set and actually really enjoying it for one of the first times ever, like enjoying an opener set. Um, and it ended up being Briston Maroney, who is one of the best dudes out there now.
Yeah, I saw him in a small tent in, was it September? At the Jersey Shore for, I can't even remember the name of the festival anymore, but it was just like, I hear this sound coming out of a tent that had like artwork you could buy. And I walk in and I was like, oh shit, that's Briston Maroney. And it's just him on a stage right now and no one's paying attention except for looking at art. And I'm like, okay, all right. So there's 8 other people in this small tent that know who he is, and he's brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
So it was a nice little treat for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this might be a different answer for both of you, or it might be the same. I'm going to start with Nathan first. If you met a stranger, you told them you were in a band, what song would you play for them if they said, well, what song should I listen to that best describes you?
For strangers, I usually play Kill the Sun because that's just our most popular song. I think it's the most accessible. It really rides the line of kind of like indie rock, kind of pop. And yeah, pretty much everyone who hears that song likes it. So that's what I lead with.
How about you, Bobby? Would you play the same song?
Yeah, I mean, probably like Nate said, since it's our most popular, it stands out in a lot of ways. And so it always can be kind of a good favorite for people to cling on to. I don't know. I mean, like, I want to almost say a song that represents us really well now is Black Eye Bad Night off of our newer record, which kind of still, I mean, it carries on the evolution of like Kill the Sun. So it's almost in the same vein, but I think a little bit even more progressed. So maybe that song too.
Okay. So Nathan, I mean, you said you would play that because that's what, the accessible song. What song would you want to play for him if you couldn't pick that?
Probably Black Eye, Bad Night. That
Are you guys fucking texting back and forth? Like, what's going on?
We're right here in the chat, dude. Yeah, well, that, and then, I mean, there's also a few new songs that have yet to be released too that, I don't know, we're always more excited about our newer stuff. So it kind of just always ends up being that.
Yeah, a lot of people always go to, because it's one of those things where, I've classified it, sometimes picking your own songs as pick your favorite child, like, and do it right now. And it's really hard because you're always creating something new that you feel is the best representation of yourself at that time. And it's just, exactly, you're maturing with it and the sound's maturing with you. So you're like, well, what we were on album 1 isn't what we are right now. So,
yeah.
All right. So we got the songs that you guys picked together. Now here's a personal preference question, and it's not a question that I like to phrase the way Rolling Stone phrases it as your favorite band. But Nathan, do you have a band that's never let you down? Like just someone that you've just always counted on their music to just always be there for you, and just some bands will come out with stuff. Listen, when they're around long enough, every song's not going to be a gem, but there are bands that you just always fall back to that never let you down.
That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second.
Okay.
Maybe let Bobby give his.
Yeah, I can go. Did you want me to answer the same question, Shane?
No, I was going to do a whole different show with you when I was just waiting for Nathan to get out of here, but you might as well since it's out there. Yeah, no, absolutely. Answer the question.
I feel like mine would not be a popular one, but I love Modest Mouse and have always loved Modest Mouse. I just don't think like it's just weird saying that because I feel like even their biggest fans have records that they don't like, or that like they'll get kind of snooty and say like this one was a departure or something like that, and not in a good way. But I feel like he has always been able to capture this feeling with a guitar that he was trying to communicate with aliens, because maybe he maybe he actually is trying to, but he but that band just, I don't know, never has disappointed me.
Well, that's a good answer. And a lot of times that people use that term departure, and I always point to certain bands when they say, well, it's a departure, and all I have to say is one band, and then I'll say, now shut your mouth. It doesn't matter what you do. And I always go to Radiohead. I'm like, Radiohead, they've never created fucking 2 albums the same. You want to talk about departure? Right. They've afforded themselves that opportunity to do so. And if you're not a fan because Hail the Thief isn't your cup of tea, but you're going to tell me, the Bends and OK Computer and like every album was different, and it was all departure, and they're one of the biggest bands of all time. So don't tell me departure is going to be your excuse for not liking, a band that you fell in love with.
Yeah, it's more of a principle that I kind of cling on to, of that if I've always felt like as I was listening to the artist, if I've always felt like they were, even if I don't like the song or if I don't like the record as much, if I feel like they were driven to continue to make better music and follow, I mean, like, I don't know, Dylan has never made a record for anyone other than himself. I think that's kind of the point, is you're doing this because you love it. We do it because we love it. And so, yeah. Sorry, I didn't have a good conclusion there.
No, that's fine. Hopefully you gave Nathan enough time to make up his answer.
I have an answer.
To give me yeah.
Well, okay, so it's hard to think of a band for me that's like never let me down. But I think the one that's come close, and not even that they've let me down in any sense, it's just that I don't totally intersect with their newer stuff. But Manchester Orchestra was one of the first like cool bands I got into. I feel like back in high school, I found that first album, Like a Virgin Losing a Child, fell in love with it.
It's one of what I consider one of the best albums of all time for me.
Dude, it's so good, and that one gets overlooked a lot because they followed it up with Mean Everything to Nothing, which is phenomenal. I feel like that really outshadowed Like a Virgin, but that one's got some great songs on it.
Yeah.
And then I still love Simple Math, which I think didn't hit home with a ton of people, but that's one of my favorite albums. And then, yeah, I was really into everything they did all the way through Cope, and not that like any of their releases after that really let me down per se, but it was more so like I like a few songs off this album. The rest is just, it's cool, but
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that too. And the same thing with the Gold. Like, I mean, there was still one of the bands that I constantly listen to, seen a ton of times, but it is, and that's the thing too, when you're making music for so long, every song's not going to grasp everyone. And,
for sure.
You got to be okay with that. My buddy said it, he was putting out his new album and his wife's like, well, I'm really not too keen on this, I don't like this song that much. He goes, that's okay. Doesn't fucking matter. He's like, you've seen the Foo Fighters how many times, and every song they make isn't fucking great. So it is what it is.
For sure. Yeah. And I also know a lot of people who their last couple albums, like, they love, front to back. So it's just all a matter of kind of where you're at in your own musical journey and where you meet them. I think another band too, though, that also has never let me down. It's not a band I've listened to as long as I've listened to Manchester Orchestra, but Tokyo Police Club. I didn't find them until they were like 3 albums in, but when I did, I loved that album. I worked my way back through their discography. I love the stuff they've come out with since then. They're definitely not as like on that deep level that Manchester is, but it's another one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I had a late journey with Tokyo Police Club as well. It was one of those things for some reason. I don't know if it just like it didn't resonate with me like when I first heard a couple songs, and then I heard it again and I was like, wait a minute. Sounds familiar. And then I was like, oh shit. Okay. And then it makes you dive into something, which is what I fucking love about music because it's always there to go back to.
Yeah, it was always a band people had told me about, told me that I would love, and I just never listened to it until someone gave me a torrent of their Force Field album and fell in love. It was awesome. Back when people still did torrents.
Yeah. So we got your cool stuff out of the way. I'll start with Bobby first. Is there something that you listen to that you get a lot of pleasure out of that people would be really surprised that you like?
I'm not sure. Why don't you ask Nate and get back to me? Well, I honestly like finding bands like Modest Mouse. I like that is a band to me that I think most people don't understand why I like so much. There's this great band called that Nate and I love, and we might be the only people that love them, but Sun Hotel. They're just able to take a song and do whatever the hell they want with it. And if you're expecting like a verse, bridge, chorus, normal setup, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So yeah, I'd say those 2 bands maybe.
So that's something that you'd be listening to, that someone would walk into a room and you would have that one quick ounce of, oh shit, they caught me listening to this?
Well, the thing is, when you're in a band, you have to drive sometimes and you get to pick the music. And I'm not listening to Float On necessarily. I'm listening to like some deeper cuts of Modest Mouse and
like
some dance hall. And people are not liking that. And I don't know, man. Yeah, it's a lot of bullying happens. I mean, I get made fun of by our drummer whose favorite band is the Mountain Goats. So that's, I don't know. I guess that really makes me sit back and have to have some perspective.
All right. How about you, Nathan?
Yeah, the one artist that I absolutely love that I'm just not proud of because it's not an artist someone like me should love so much is Sleeping at Last. And if you don't know who that is, they're famous for having the wedding song in Twilight. But I think it's just one dude, and I just think he's an incredible. Yeah, he's just an incredible writer and musician. And it's just always something that I love to put on to relax or kind of contemplate too. But I'm well aware that I'm probably the only male fan that he has.
You're not.
Okay.
Listen, and And it's funny how you put it that way, and it's, you know, somebody gets something put somewhere, like it was put into a song, and, you know, for me, it's one of those things where, listen, I like Ryan O'Neal. He's created some great fucking music,
It
and
really
it's
has.
unfortunate to be like, oh, that guy that had that song in Twilight, but at the same time, good on him.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, I even love that song.
Well, that's because are you Team Edward, or what was the other?
Hell no, dude.
I don't even know the names.
Hey.
I just literally, I never saw it, but
Team
Listen
Jacob.
right now, Shane. Motherfolk is a Team Jacob band.
okay.
I just want to put that on the record, because there have been some people out there saying that we might be Team Edward, and I want to
so many
that
people are saying that.
People are saying it.
I mean, I've heard it. You know, I've seen it on the Twitterverse. So
yeah,
I mean, I couldn't believe that it came up organically in conversation without me having to bring it up. But
oh, dude, if it didn't, I would have made a point to towards the end of the show. Like when you asked us whatever we have to plug, it would have been mostly Team Jacob.
Oh, I can't wait to show up at your show with Team Jacob shirts for you. All right, so now that we got the guilty pleasure silliness out of the way, here's one of my favorite questions, and everyone hates it, but I don't give a shit. The world's going to end in 5 minutes. Impending doom. You see the meteor coming. You have 5 minutes left to live, and you have to listen to one song.
What?
What song do you listen to?
I'm going to listen to...
Wait, someone is telling me that I have to listen to a song in the 5 minutes?
Yeah. You got 5 minutes left to live, and you have to listen to one song. It's basically your soundtrack, you know, to the end of the world.
Oh, gosh. Maybe Where Is My Mind by the Pixies, because that's such a great, like, I don't know, it was at the end of Fight Club, you know?
Yeah, so it's at the end of Fight Club when everything's blowing up, so yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. That's by the tone, I feel like you didn't like that answer. You're just like, yeah, everything's blowing up, it's fucking Fight Club.
I'm still trying to digest the Team Jacob thing, but no, listen, it's the first thing that comes to your head. What comes to your head, Nate?
The first thing that came to my head was 15 Minutes by Mike Kroll, because it is a song about the world ending in the next 15 minutes. So that was the first thing I thought of. But then when I thought of it a little more, I should like maybe go out on a bang, you know, maybe like Turning Page by Sleeping at Last.
Okay.
Nah, that was a joke. That was a callback. That was for the Sleeping at Last fans out there. Yep. All you guys that like the deep cuts.
All right.
Oh, no, Shane.
Listen.
I wouldn't be listening to music there. Is that what you want me to say?
Hey, listen.
I'd probably put on a podcast.
Yeah, I'd be scrolling for 5 minutes trying to find the perfect song, and by the time the meteor hit, but
well, no one asked you, Shane.
Yeah, I know they didn't. All right, so I think I've kept you guys here long enough. We've covered a lot of stuff, and right now, what I'd like to give you guys the opportunity to do before we move into our last segment is tell everybody how to find what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing, all your fucking handles in the world, so everybody can follow you and keep up.
Cool. You can follow us on social media anywhere at Motherfolk Music. You can go to motherfolk.com and look at our tour dates and buy tickets and merch and all that stuff. We're going to be on tour pretty much I don't know when this is coming out, but we're going to be on tour the entire month of February. And if this comes out after that, you missed us. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. We have a new EP out called The Flower. You can stream it everywhere.
But buy it, people, from their merchandise off their website, please.
Oh, no, guys, listen, don't listen to Shane. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, stream it so they get their 0.00013 cent per stream. So
Thank you, Shane. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. We have we're going to be pretty active this year. We have a lot of stuff on the calendar already. So if you don't see us soon, you'll get a chance to.
Well, that's all they have to say about their handles. And my last question before the last segment of threes is, if you guys weren't able to, what we just went through as a world, a lot of things happened. Bands were no longer together. Things weren't created. But if something happened and you guys were no longer able to create music anymore, how would you like to be remembered for what you've already created?
What's with you in these like morbid questions, man? Like this podcast started out pretty light. All right. I didn't think my evening was going to go this direction.
That's how I always
the
bring
world's
it in.
ending and you're not in a band anymore.
Hey, just be happy I didn't ask you to give me your funeral playlist.
Oh, I've got that.
So do
I. So hold on, clarify here. You want us how we would want to be remembered if not for being in a band?
Well, no, as the band, how would you like the band to be remembered if, something happened and you could no longer be a band? How would you like Motherfolk to be remembered?
Interesting.
All right.
I don't
know.
Of
dead air for commercials. Well, awesome. Cool.
It's a tough question, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
How many artists do you have that just immediately answer this one?
I've had a few. No,
okay.
Self-reflection is hard. I do understand. I've asked some self-reflective questions that you were quick to answer. So I
think I would really just want to be a band that is always seen as trying to push the boundaries of what we can do. And I say that because that's something we've done every time we've released a project up to present day, is we've always kind of never phoned it in. I don't think.
Never stuck to one formula. Yeah, you've always tried. Yeah.
And we've always, even when it meant waiting longer than we should, I think we've always waited until we've had something significant to say before putting it into an album form. And that's
and hopefully, if anything, just genuine and authentic, I think, are two words that come to mind. That we always were driven to be genuine in the sense just of how Nate is talking about how we need, waited to release things even when we probably shouldn't have, or something like that. Like, I think the best thing that I get when I'm listening to something, or when I'm overwhelmed by a band, is that, wow, what they said there was truly genuine. It met me exactly where I am. And maybe at the end of the day, it's as cliche as saying, like, we told the listener, we let the listener know that they weren't alone.
Yeah. I think, like at the end of the day, we've always just wanted to make good art. And it's never really been about, like fame or followers or money even. We've always just wanted to make something that can exist beyond ourselves.
I mean, and that's what I love in musicianship, is that creating it for the art itself and creating it to create it, and not to create it for something else to, people get into the game to, I'm going to be the next, Machine Gun Kelly, and I'll tell them, you're just not. Like, so, like, if you're going to be an artist, be an artist. And that'll carry you a lot further and a lot longer than being, someone who could be a flash in the pan and have millions of dollars and be a fucking crackhead. Just create your art, because that's the most important thing to put into the world, because it's always going to be there and someone will always find it, and you can connect to millions of people from around the world with just a simple, brilliant story in a song.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's my answer.
Just use that, what you just said, Shane.
Hey, listen, we've had a lot of great sound bites here. I literally wrote one down, and I have to tell you, it was so subtle and simple. But Nathan, the "not everyone gets good" is my new favorite thing that I will have to say to people. Like, you nailed it on the head with "not everyone gets good," and I gotta say, I literally sat here, wrote it down. I'm like, that is fucking brilliant, and I can't let that go away.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I'll bill you for the royalties.
Absolutely. I actually just, while we were sitting here, I was on LegalZoom copywriting it, so no worries. But it brings us into the last portion of our show, which is our weekly 3 segment. It's 3 things you're listening to right now that you'd like people to check out. And Bobby, I'd start with you. 3 things you're listening to that you'd like someone to check out.
Oh my gosh. This is a terrible question for me because I have not been listening to very much music lately.
Well, if you're listening to an audiobook, we can throw that on there. Are you listening to anything?
I'm not listening to anything.
Bobby mostly just sits in his room quietly.
Wow.
I do.
You stare at the ceiling and watch the paint dry, huh?
Yes. No, that's why this question sucks for me, because I literally have not been listening to anything lately. Nate, can you take this one?
Absolutely. I have a bunch of new bands and artists that I've discovered recently that I'm listening to right now. Let me pick 3. I'm gonna go with Pom Pom Squad. Is a band I found a couple months ago that I absolutely love. The Beths is another band from New Zealand.
Great fucking New Zealand band.
Yes. Another artist a friend showed me a while ago is Maddie Diaz that I've been really into lately. That's 3. But fuck it, dude. I'm gonna add a 4th. I'm gonna hit you with another New Zealander, Phaser Days.
Okay. You're allowed. I mean, we have to make
I could
up
do 2 more for Bobby.
Yeah, we got to make up for Bobby being fucking lame and not listening to anything in his life.
For sure. Yeah, well, okay. I'll hit you with a great hip hop artist on the rise right now is Reggie.
I listened to that. Okay, that's one of mine.
That's one of Bobby's now.
Too late.
Another band I've been jamming a lot over the last year is Charlie Bliss. So there you go. There's 6.
All right. Charlie Bliss, saw them open for Jawbreaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, my 3 for this week. First one is a band called Early Humans, alt-rock band out of Nashville. They have an album called A Wave. Next is a Brit band called Bear's Den. They have a new song out called Spider. Oh, yeah, that's Spider's great new song by them. And last but not least, Nate Bergman, singer-songwriter. Just got to see him open for Appleseed Cast, Cursive, and Thursday. Pretty awesome singer-songwriter, very classic rock, gravelly voice. He's got a new album. It's called Metaphysical Change. Check that out. But that is us. Sorry we took a downward spiral with towards the end there with bringing everybody down a little bit and having to reflect on your life. I'm sure we've done that enough over the past couple of years. But from all of us here at Hidden Tracks, I want to say thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Bobby, for being here. Thank you so much for creating the artistry that you do put into the world. We're really looking forward to getting out and seeing you here in a couple of weeks. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man. Team Jacob.
There it is. And we'll end on that note. Everybody out there, you know what to do next. Go out, listen to Motherfolk, and have a great fucking time.
God, are you sleeping? Are you dead? Words in my mouth are still unsaid, and I'm not sure if I can get them out. 'Cause I've spent enough time in my head. I've spent enough time sleeping, and all of the days they blur together now, and all the words are still trapped in my mouth. I don't want you, I don't want God. I could never suggest it as calmly as you do. I could put up a fight, but I don't think it'd come out quite like it used to. Like it used to!
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.